Hey everybody, Selection PDQ. It's Q&A. Yeah, you know what that means. Me versus Colby. And I'm telling you guys, I think we should handicap him because, it's, like high school JV versus the NBA on this one. So, should we jump in? Colby, be gentle with you, buddy.
Maybe.
That handicap's not going to happen, buddy.
It's not happening? Dang it. Start him at -5.
All right, are you ready for your first question?
Yeah.
All right, dear Lex and Colby, I have a nested group of app installers that are being pushed to a group of computers. Not every computer needs every update due to version currently using dynamic collections for controlling this. Do you have a mechanism to dynamically add text to a message step at the end to let people know what items were successfully updated using the mighty PDQ Deploy? Sincerely, Christopher, there can only be one L.
Highlander.
Hey, Christopher. That Highlander, that's a great one. I know there's not a way for us to dynamically add text to a message. Now, there is, however, if I go in here and let's just select some packages, you can put some conditions on the packages and say only install this package on a machine that's not part of a package collection. So here's the steps, right? And let's say 7-zip if I go to conditions. And under conditions, we say is not a member of, and then I go find my 7-zip not installed collection. Now that will help in regards to 7-zip not installed. Only install it if it is a member. 7-zip not installed. So you got some conditions that you can put there to make sure that if they don't have it, they'll get it. If they have it, they won't, kind of a thing. But I'm not aware of anything that dynamically adds text to a message. Probably do that in PowerShell, and now I'm going to go like this. Colby.
Yeah, it's most likely possible in PowerShell. I'm not.
Isn't it? Don't we call it like the message? Is it message exe or?
Yep, it's just msg.exe. So you can make your own messages.
So dynamically, you could do that using PowerShell, but nothing native.
Right.
All right.
So I got to say, Lex draws first blood and is on the board first.
Let's end it now, guys. I'm winning.
All right, dear to Lex and Colby, sometimes several packages displayed in the packages window show activity long after a successful deployment. Running deployments show 0. Restarting PDQ Deploy clears the packages showing activity. Is there another way to stop the packages from showing activity after a successful package deployment, or is this a non-issue? Sincerely, RJ.
Hey, RJ. All right, guys, here's where Colby's going to start taking lead. I've never seen that happen. Colby, any thoughts? I mean, it sounds like it may be a bug, maybe.
Yep, it's a bug that we're aware of. It is currently difficult to reproduce. It's something we're looking into. But if you could create a ticket with support@pdq.com and give them as much detail as possible, it may help us reproduce the issue and ultimately fix it.
So like screenshots help, the whole...
Yep, as much information as you can provide.
Hey, RJ, thanks, man.
Dear Lex and Colby, are you going to release the 2004 cumulative update? Thanks, Phil R.
Hey, Phil. And I want to thank you for this question because it's just going to be an easy point for me. We released that yesterday. So it's out there for you, buddy.
That was just too easy.
Hey, I need all the points I can get. Think about it.
I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would say this. Colby, you got to step it up, buddy.
Whoa. Let's not inspire him to start slamming me down.
We all know Lex is front-loading here.
This is true.
I got to.
All right, dear Lex and Colby, trying to get a list of network printers, not local, installed per machine. Command Get-WMI nerd blah 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 is user specific. Is there a way to run a PowerShell scanner as or for logged on user like you can for deployments in Deploy? Sincerely, Jeff P.
Now, you're just going to smile at me, huh? Because I'm going to have to pass this.
I'm just going to give the point to Colby right up front and then listen to the answer.
Well, can I try?
Okay, it'll be cute.
Here goes. I'm going to let Colby take that one. That's all I got. I think you have to run them as the administrator. I don't think you can choose it as a local user.
Yeah, the only options that you currently have are scan user and local system. Logged on user is a feature request that we are looking into. I do not have an ETA on that one.
Hey, I actually gave the answer before Colby gave a much better answer.
I really wasn't paying attention at that point.
Really? So, okay, JJ, come on. We need a deliberator here. I did give the answer. It was correct. Colby's was much more detailed and probably more correct.
Lex,
I got a point?
I'll let you decide who gets the point.
Oh, I'm taking it.
Be
I am
honest.
so taking it. No, Colby gets that one.
All right.
All right, we're tied up then, 2-2. Dear Lex and Colby, trying to get a list of oh, wait, that's the same one. Hold up.
I can answer that
There
one.
we go.
I got the answer this
Dear
time.
Lex and Colby, is it possible to have custom columns added in Inventory's main view? There are some custom apps used here, and it would be ideal to know what version each machine is running in the main overview, if possible. Thanks in advance, Jeff P.
All right. To get custom fields into your custom view, you need to go and do a custom field. Okay, so we've got printer right here. Okay. Now at this point, you go up to customize the grid, and you should be able to see printer, and this is alphabetical. P.
We also have a search bar at the top.
Thank you. That would probably help me. Did I actually printer? Let me make sure we've got that in here. I am going to fail miserably here. I know this is custom fields, printer. Let's add a new one. It's just going to be an integer field. We're going to call it the custom. Hey, I actually spelled that right. I am doing well today, guys. There it is, the custom. And then again right here. Those custom fields are stored in the computer table, so you should be able to go in here and find there is.
They're at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom. It's at the bottom.
Your little
Right.
camel case, the custom.
Oh, there it is. The custom. There it is. You can add it. And again, I'm going to just go and say mark it fixed, so it brings it to the front. Except I didn't mark it fixed. I should not be allowed to use the mouse. Oh, there it is. I did mark it fixed. There it is. The custom. There it is. There's your custom field added. Apparently this one's got a bunch of zeros in it. Weak, but I get the point.
You do. You really put in a lot of effort.
I did. I should get some point for that.
All right, we'll give you that one. Dear Lex and Colby, anything in the works for PDQ Deploy working outside the office or VPN? With most of my devices remote, nagging to connect to the VPN is not very successful. Thanks, Roger Z.
Hey, Roger. Well, simple answer is yes. We are working on a new agent replacement. It'll come out soon. TM. I'm using the TM from last time. I think there's another option. It is what are we calling the new that other? There's another option. It's like kind of like an always-on kind of VPN-ish kind of a thing.
I don't think we have an external name for it.
We
But
don't have a name for it, but it's super easy.
if you want to email webcast@pdq.com, we can get you a beta for that if you're interested.
Yeah, it's really cool, guys. I like it a lot. The team here has done some amazing work. Brilliant people doing it because, they're actually going after it's like, yeah, we don't have to nag people to do this, and we want to make it super easy to set up, and it's basically a wizard. So yeah, if you want to try it, email.
I just thought if it's basically a wizard, we should just name it Gandalf. That would be
Gandalf.
PDQ Gandalf.
Yeah, PDQ
down
Gandalf.
with that.
All right. Dear Lex and Colby, no real questions yet. Love the products. Other than that, will you be gentle with me? This is my first PDQ A. Thanks, Dave C.
I'm going to take that because that's going to be easy money. I mean, points for me. We love you, Dave. Yeah, of course. Thank you for watching, man. I appreciate it. Did I get points for that?
Does anyone get points for that? Was that a points?
We'll let Colby
giving
decide.
question?
Colby, should I get points for that?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Good, because I already put it down and it's in ink. So
How are we looking right now?
Lex stands in the lead with 4. Colby is at 2.
My money's
up.
still on Colby.
Time to step it up.
I think Colby is just letting you feel good about yourself right now, and then he's going to,
Just
Oh, yeah,
slam me at the end of this.
He knows that we're only 10 minutes in.
That's a good point. That is a good point,
The
Colby.
webcast is still.
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, man. I'll pay you afterwards, okay?
Dear Lex and Colby, been having a lot of connection issues to the server lately when trying to launch, deploy, or inventory. Getting a message to check port number and server name. Nothing changes, and it happens out of the blue, even after connecting earlier in the day. Suggestions, recommendations, condolences? Sincerely, Dougie Doug K.
Hey, Doug. That's a good one. I mean, network connectivity, obviously, is the first thing I would check. Ports, I don't imagine you have anything changing your ports. That's and now here's where we send it over to Colby to steal the point and give us a better answer than that. What do you think, man?
What I suspect is a performance issue. We know of several performance issues in our products right now. There are a few things you can do. First of all, make sure you're on the current release, which is currently 19.0.40. We usually put out a release around every 6 weeks right now, and we're always fixing little things here and there. But then there are other things like make sure you clean up your history in both deploy and inventory. Both of them have options in preferences to automatically clean up the history. If your history gets too large, it can cause issues.
It definitely helps performance to keep that clean.
Yep. And if none of that helps, reach out to support@pdq.com.
Hey, Lex and Colby, I noticed the .NET packages stop at 4.5, but the current version is 4.8. Is that because the 4.8 is included in the cumulative updates? Part 2, is removing reg entries for .NET version something we should do using deploy? Thanks, Gordon.
Well, I don't know the answer to the first part of that. Any thoughts on .NET? Why it's just part of the cumulative now, or?
No. Go ahead and open the package library.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Package library. .NET. Except you got to type it right.
.NA.
.NA. Yes. Okay. So 452. Full profile, client profile, framework.
Yeah, so
4.8, there it is.
Yeah, so what's going on is we have multiple of them, and you're most likely just seeing that .NET 4.5.2 package, and then the current one, the one that will always keep up to date, is the one that's just called .NET Framework.
Oh. What was the second part of that question again? That's the thing I could probably answer. Nope. All right. Gonna be. Oh, here we are, Rad. What
Behind the scenes kind of thing.
Give me one
is
more
removing.
minute.
Okay, is
One
removing
sec.
Can you remove .NET registry entries? Well, you can do pretty much anything you want with deploy.
Okay.
I would just definitely test it first before you start launching that one out, because again, automation. This is one of my favorite sayings. Like, you can do a lot of good really fast. You can do a lot of bad really fast. So test that before you do it.
Our viewers are seeing how the sausage is made.
That is right.
All right, next question. It's kind of a rerun, actually, but it might be a good opportunity for somebody to get points. You have mentioned in previous podcasts that you were working on a remote update solution. Have you made any progress that you can share? Keep up the great work, Matt B.
Hey, Matt.
I think I answered this one already.
I took this one last time, and what's the score right now?
I think Matt just wants to give someone extra points.
Matt's helping me out. Thank you. Feel the love, Matt. Thank you. Yes, we are. And we got an agent coming out, and we've got a VPN style-ish solution that we haven't got a name for. Lots of wizard stuff. Score me a point. Thanks,
right,
Matt.
There you go. Dear Lex and Colby, which do you recommend when new software versions become available? Option 1, update existing deploy packages with generic names, deploy Foobar and the updated MSI. Option 2, duplicate the original deploy packages and use version names, deploy Foobar 2223. Hang on, I think this might be a two-parter. Yep, here we go. Second part. The advantage to option 1 is you never have to update the packages that include nested installs, like the one I push out to new computers, and it's less work. The advantage to option 2 is I can see much more information in my scheduled deployments. Sincerely, Joe.
I'm going to give you, if you go to our YouTube channel and you look up automating packages that are not in our package library. That's what I would suggest, because the nice thing about that is you build some custom variables. Let me see if I can find that for you. Automating, so there you go. Automating packages that aren't in our package library. You do some variables, you follow some, parameters where you would put the new versions in a new, in a version folder, and then there's a PowerShell script along with that. And you basically, this automates that. And so if you were to use, let's say, Foobar 2.0, 3.0, whatever, in your nested package, this updated package gets updated in the background by obviously the variables and some PowerShell. Take care of you there, man. That's a good one. It's live. And I just want to point out, guys, anytime we have really long videos, thank you, Lisa. She timestamps those so you guys can, if you go to it, and I'm going to pause this so you don't have to see it. If you show more, here are all the timestamps so you can jump right into this is what I wanted to see instead of having to watch the whole thing.
Yep. This webcast will be timestamped.
Yep.
With all the questions and answers.
Absolutely. So that's where I would go, because I like to automate stuff and make it super, super simple for me. Colby, thoughts?
That's a much better answer than I was actually going to give.
Whoa. Will you say that one more time? You guys, listen to this.
Wow.
Lex, your answer was better than mine.
Wow.
You better bask in that one, man.
We got to take a minute here. At least a second. Whew. All right. Feeling good. The fall is far. I'm feeling proud. So what's next?
All right, dear Lex and Colby, I added my collection via PDQ Inventory. However, computers in a particular subnet are not detected. I can ping from the PDQ server to the target machine and back. What seems to be the problem? Sincerely, Mikey Mike M.
Hey, Mikey Mike. All right. Could be a couple of things. The first thing I would look at is when you go to your preferences and you go to, and that was inventory, right? Collections. Go see if you've excluded a container that might have that. That's the first place I would look, because you'll notice here I've excluded web old, because I had a bunch of machines every time this goes up, and these are machines that I should delete out of Active Directory but haven't. It excludes them so I don't have to see them. There's a possibility that that's happening. Colby, any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah, the main thing is there are multiple ways to bring computers into inventory. Collections are just a group of computers that are based on a certain set of criteria. Collections don't actually bring computers in.
That's true.
So make sure and investigate the method that you brought them in. If you're talking about a subnet, it may have been network discovery, and that could be like a firewall issue if your firewall is blocking pings to those computers.
And a way to see where they are is if you come in, and again, we go back to that edit right there, and you go to added from, add that. Let me bring that up top here. You'll notice all mine are added from AD Sync. You'd be able to see the ones that were added from Network Discovery or added by name, that kind of thing. So that might be another telltale way to find out, or at least start searching as to why they're not showing up.
Was that a Lex point or a Colby point?
Can we give them both a point? And I guess that just means
Sure.
you kind of zero them out. But
There we go. All right. Lex, you're up to 7. Colby, you're at 5.
Whew.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Dear
Dang,
Lex
we
and
still got
Colby,
10
any
minutes.
plans to add variables to the PowerShell scanner? Sincerely, Gandalf.
The Great White Wizard. I know you're much closer to this than I am, Colby, so here you go, buddy. This one's yours.
That is another feature we are currently looking into. It's one that's near and dear to my heart because it'll clean up our GitHub repository a little bit, because currently I have to have it hard-coded to see PowerShell scanners, and with variables I'd be able to make that something nicer, like your documents folder or something.
Some repository folder or something like that.
Yeah.
so, yes, no, we're hoping for it.
Oh, it's in the works, isn't
In the
it?
works.
Yeah, it's something we're looking into.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dear Lex and Colby, is there a way to only show running deployments? Sincerely, the fabulous Billy Z.
All right, let's go see all my deployments. All right, I'm going to go deploy 7-zip a whole bunch and see if we can pull up just running ones. Deploy once, choose some targets. We'll just grab a smattering of, we'll do 7-zip. We'll update some machines. How about that? All right, apparently they're all up to date. So we'll grab a few from the, we'll just grab these guys right here. Boom. Just to show running deployments, right? So there's that guy. There's the running deployments. I look at all deployments. There, filter. Is there a filter? Colby, any ideas? Filter for running deployments? Oh, status running. Here we go. Running. And if I click on that, there you go. How's that?
Yep. And you also have a couple other options.
Okay.
If you hover over status, there's the little icon that'll pop up.
Okay. Status.
Yep. If you click on that little, I'm not even sure what that
Here
is.
we go.
Then you
Filter
can-
guy there.
Yep.
Running only.
You can choose your status. You can also right-click and group by.
Okay, let me go remove that filter, select all. I can right click and group by. Boom. Man.
Yep.
Nicely done, Colby, for showing all the ways I didn't. And that was 2 more than I did. So
That seems like a tie there.
thank you, JJ. I was about to give him the point, but yeah, that looks like a tie. That
no,
looks like
he
a
gets
tie.
the point. You guys are tied now, is what
Oh,
I'm
we're
saying.
tied now.
If I remember the score correctly.
You are absolutely correct. We have a tie game, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Lex and Colby, for the tiebreaker, I have an in-place upgrade to migrate our machines from LTSB to LTSC. However, the package is pretty beefy and takes around an hour and a half to deploy. On top of that, once the upgrade is done, I need a nested package of other updates to run. Since this has to run to several hundred machines, what would be the best way to deploy this without overtaxing my server? Should I just do a bunch of smaller deployments over several weeks, or is there a more efficient way to do it? Thanks, Antonio L.
Well, I can think of a lot of different ways to go about that. I mean, one, obviously you can use different dynamic collections to break the machines down into smaller groups and do that in the evenings. You could, boy, that's probably, I would do that. That's a way to I guess, not tax the network so much. The big thing, if you go to preferences under performance, right here, just so you understand how this works so that we don't slam your network, right? We have concurrent targets per deployment and total concurrent targets. And you'll notice the total concurrent targets number is bigger than the concurrent targets.
If you use a highlighter, you'll get the point.
All right, JJ spent a lot of time baking a highlighter for me to use. So first of all, concurrent targets. Watch this, JJ. This is just for you so I can get the point. 8. That means at any one time of that package, there can be 8 running. Okay? Now, total concurrent targets means if you've got, and I'm just going to use a nice easy, let's say you're deploying Chrome and Firefox at the same time to everybody. It will do 8 Chrome, it'll do 8 Firefox, and until we end up with 32. So you could have 4 different packages running, and it'd be 8 of each of those. So
It's actually not based on package.
oh, it's not.
As it says, it's based on deployment. So if you deploy the
excuse
same
me.
package 4 times, you could have 32 going at the same time.
Okay. Well, I stand corrected. Thank you. I was just.
I don't know if the highlighter gets the point on that one. I think
No, you don't have to
Yeah, 'cause
highlight.
there was
Well,
a-
I gave some almost right answer, and then Colby corrected me.
Colby's got to have the point on that.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Also, something I would recommend, you also have the copy mode set to pull. One of the things that you can do to help with, since this is a Windows upgrade, I'm guessing it's probably several gigabytes. You can set up DFS servers, and that will give you more bandwidth. Then you can set this concurrent targets higher because it's less stress on deploy because you're not transferring the files through it. Deploy is telling the targets to copy the files. And then essentially deploy is just sitting there waiting for the target to respond back. So you could set that fairly high.
I would definitely give Colby the point, because that is a good point. Thank you.
Tied game, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Lex and Colby, how do I keep the Adobe Creative Cloud and applications within it updated? Thanks, Jerry A.
Hey, Jerry. So Adobe Creative Cloud and the stuff within it, I'm going to bounce you back to that automating packages that are not in our package library. And if it were me, and I'm not overly familiar with all the packages in Creative Cloud, but what you could do is you do updates for each of those. You follow the instructions in that automating a package that is not in our package library. You build your variables, build your collections, do that, and then, as each of the different components get updated, you can drop them in, and those will actually, on your schedule, get updated and automated that way. So,
I believe we also have a webcast that, I don't know if it was you and Brig.
oh, we did Creative Cloud. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So that's a good reference too. Check that one. Ultimately, to automate that, look at the automating packages, not in our package library, but yeah, that was, I think, me and Brig that did that. JJ gets my point. I need my points, JJ.
JJ is on the board.
I did it. I got 1 point. That's all I wanted.
I hate you, JJ.
Dear Lex and Colby and JJ, I have a script to pull warranty info from Dell. What's the best way to get that info into an inventory custom field without making Anthony L type in all 8,500 entries? Sincerely, Tiffany G.
Hey, Tiffany. First of all, Anthony L needs to type. It's good for him. Just kidding. That one is perfect for the new PowerShell scanner, I believe, because you can pull BIOS information, which should house that, the warranty, date, number, whatever is in the BIOS, and then all you have to do is do a reference against. Let me see if I've got a PowerShell. I'm pretty sure I do. Let's go build a new dynamic collection and look at our PowerShell tables here. PowerShell, look, there you go. You'd be able to reference that PowerShell scanner table and pull that information directly out of one of those. So that's how I'd go about it. Colby?
Yep. Unfortunately, you won't be able to show any PowerShell scanner fields as a column.
Oh, that's true.
But what I would actually recommend is running a report.
That is true.
Is that Colby then? Or do we split it?
I would say that Lex gets 1.5 points, Colby 0.5.
Really, are we going to split it that way?
If we're turning it into float.
Thank you.
Tell you what. I'm giving Colby a point. Lex gets it. We're back to being tied.
Okay.
We're tied again.
And JJ's got one.
Yeah, I do have one.
All right. Dear Lex and Colby, computers show online even though they are turned off. How can I clear them out as being online? Sincerely, Timmy T, the double T.
Tim, the double T. Hey, thank you for giving me one I can answer. So here's our online status. Let me drag this bad boy over and put it where we can see it nice and easy. So here's the thing. The online status is based off of a heartbeat. So if you go to preferences under network, you'll notice my heartbeat runs every 300 seconds. So let's say I ping it, the machine's on right now, okay? It shows it's online, and then they turn it off, or you turn it off or whatever. It's not going to show offline until I ping it again. So the way to go verify, or what you can do, is select a bunch of computers and hit heartbeat, which is Control H, and it's going to go ping them and verify whether they're online or not at that point. The other thing that's helpful, especially you can do with your scanning, ping before scanning. So it'll ping them. If they're not online, it'll just move on. And the same thing in inventory with your deployments. You go and do deployments, ping before deployment. So it'll verify at that moment whether they're on before the deployment will go. So a couple of ways to, make things a little more efficient. And then again, run a heartbeat on them, and that'll tell you whether they're online or offline.
Dear Lex and Colby, PDQ Deploy seems to keep showing deployments running, but without any actual progress. Restarting the service seems to resolve. Do you know if things are working in the background and it's just a UI issue? Thanks, Stephen F.
All right. So if you restart, okay, a couple parts there. It shows they're running, okay? And then if you do restart the service and they are running, it's going to abort them. Okay, just because there's a, it stops the service that's keeping track of them. As for, is there a UI issue, whether or not it's not updating? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look at you, Colby, on that one.
This is the essentially the same question we had earlier. It's a bug we're looking into.
Oh, all right.
You each get a point for that one. Dear Lex and Colby, will PDQ ever be web-based? Hayner.
Man, thank you guys, looking out for this guy today. It's very possible. Maybe.
Anything's possible, I guess.
That is
right?
true. It is possible. I know it's been kicked around and talked about a lot.
All right.
Did I need to drag that on to get the point? Well, we've been thinking.
No, you're good.
I don't know if anyone gets the point for that one.
Oh no!
Hey,
You know,
Lex,
Colby
answering anything's possible. I don't know if
is
it's
not really an
necessarily
answer.
I agree.
But okay.
No point.
Harsh.
No
Harsh.
point. Dear Lex and Colby, since Deploy and Inventory works the best while paired, have you considered an option to actually merge it into a single software? Thanks, Sneaky M.
Hey, Sneaky M. Yeah, am I going to get a point for this? Because it's possible.
Well, we got to wait
We've
to
thought
see what
about
the
it.
answer is.
We've thought about it. It's possible. I think it's a good idea. I don't know. Somebody may not. Colby, what's your thoughts?
I'll keep going back to you for a change.
Oh.
Do you want to explain why they're separate?
No. They're separate because some people just want to deploy, and some people just wanted inventory. You're right. They do work better together. It's brains and brawn. You know what I mean? It's like, let's use the intelligence of inventory to make our deployments so much smarter so that we can sit back and drink scotch with our feet up. If it was me, I would say probably merge it, but that might alienate some of our customers.
Dear gents, since upgrading to PDQ Inventory 19.0.40.02 weeks ago from version 18, I've had a lot more remote computers over VPN reporting multiple connections to a server or shared resource by the same user using more than one username and are not allowed. Disconnect all previous connections to the server or shared resource and try again. What? Thanks, Chad B.
Hey, Chad. Now, I've seen this also, and I know what I've done. I am going to pass it to Colby because he's going to give you so much better of an answer than I will for this.
This is one of several errors that we've been looking into recently. I don't remember if we have any fixes for this in the nightly, but we might, because I know we've been doing kind of a focus on some of these common errors and cleaning up some old code and like old assumptions about the ways we did various things. So if you're willing to try it a nightly, I think we have something that helps, doesn't 100% fix this, but may help. It's also something that may be worth reaching out to support at pdq.com for.
Now, normally that error is if you've got, I was going to say, normally that error will show up, and I know if it's not a remote machine, I'll get that error if I'm using like a fully qualified credential name is the service in one and not the other, in deploy and inventory. So basically make sure, and this might help. It may not fix the problem, but I have seen it help in regards to local stuff. But if you go to your background service, you'll notice I've got webpdq.com Quintana here. Make sure that matches in deploy and inventory, they're both matching, because sometimes that does cause issues I've seen. So,
Was that a Colby point?
yeah, that was a Colby point.
Oh, Colby, guess what? First time in this webcast, you are in the lead.
We all knew it would happen.
Yeah, it was a matter of time.
It was a matter of time.
Whoa, time out. We have gone beyond our regular. So
And,
It's
Yeah.
a PDQ in A. We
Yeah,
usually
that's
go
a
about
good
45
point. That's a
minutes on
good
this
point.
one.
yeah,
Okay.
and we are in the speed round, by the way. So, dear dear Colby and Lex, is there a specific reason my DC isn't showing up in my list of computers after an AD sync? Thanks, Danny G.
the only reason I would imagine it's not showing up, well, two reasons. One, either your firewall. Yeah, okay, let me just pop up preferences because I'm going to rethink my thoughts here. Active Directory. I'm assuming it's not, disabled. If it's disabled and you have don't sync disabled, it's not going to show up. I'm assuming it's not that. If you go in here and exclude DCs, which is pretty easy to do, just like that, okay, that I exclude DCs, they're not going to show up after an AD sync. Again, check your firewall ports. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't show up. They wouldn't be able to connect. So, but that's where I would look. It would be Preferences, Active Directory, and check your syncs there. Colby, thoughts?
If it was a firewall issue, AD sync wouldn't work at all because this talks to your DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
then.
it's most likely just the way you have it configured. One thing that it could be is if you don't have subtree checked and
Oh,
your DC
yeah,
is
okay.
in like a sub OU or something, that might be why it's not seeing it.
Again, right here, Preferences, Active Directory, Sync. When you do that, include or exclude container, right there. And watch this, JJ, just for you, baby. Boom.
You get the point in my book, but I'm not Kelly, and he's the one keeping score. So
I gave it to Lex. You're tied again. Okay, this one's a novel. Get ready.
Whoa.
I know you can't read this, Lex, so I'm going to read it for you, like I always
I
do.
just can't read.
All right. Dear Lex and Colby, I have a piece of software our clients give us that doesn't register with inventory scans or with Windows installed apps. I use a file tattoo to keep track of what versions are on what machines, generating dynamic collections, scanning for this text file. Here's an example, version xxxx.txt. The problem: I'm wondering if there is a better way to do this. Right now, I'm not removing the old version text when I push out the new updates, which is every couple of weeks. It's frequently updated. So they show up on multiple collections, and I constantly have to change the file I'm looking for and deploying. Thanks in advance, Anthony L.
Okay. Colby just smiles at me. He's like, good luck, right? Yeah, just start laughing at me now. I love it. All right, okay, so here's a couple of things, right? If you're dropping a text file when you update it, which is what it sounds like you may be doing, or you're reading a text file, there's a couple of things you could do. You could go into your file scanner and look for, let me see if I can pop one up for you here. Actually, we've got a file scanner on here. Let me see. We've got files scanned, and of course we don't. But you'll notice size, type, path, file version, production version, company description, date modified. You could look at the date that file was modified. That's one place you could look. Okay. The other thing you can do, I mean, if you're not I guess this is pretty similar, right? You could actually tattoo the registry, put a registry thing in, and then make sure you're the one that changes that when you do an update. And that's pretty simple, a pretty simple registry tattoo, and then do a registry scan on that. And then you'd be able to also do, dynamic collections against that. Ultimately, it's one of those things you got to clean up. If you got bad data, you got to get the data clean, decide how you're going to do it, and just be consistent about it. And that's all I think is probably the best way to go about it. Colby, thoughts?
I like the idea of tattooing the registry, and if you put it in the right spot, it will actually show up in the programs list, and inventory will see it as an application. So I believe it's local system, software, Microsoft Windows current version uninstall.
Oh my gosh, he's got that in his mental Rolodex. I got to give him the point just for that.
Yeah, so if you create a key in there and then the right properties, which you can look at the other ones, the other entries in there to see what you need. If you create the right ones in there, then it will show up in inventory as an application.
Wow. I like his answer better than mine.
Well, I'm going to give you both points. You guys are a lot like deploy and inventory. You work better together. See what I did there?
Wow,
All right.
that was good.
Dear Lex and Colby, have you seen any issues with Windows Defender slowing down installs from deploy? I had to disable it to roll out my Autodesk packages, or it would take forever. Thanks, Danny G.
Have I seen any? I'm going to tell you this. I know Autodesk is a huge install, and depending on what you're installing, it can be vast, very vast. I haven't seen personally a whole lot of Windows Defender slowing things down, but it obviously it can. Wouldn't put it past it. Colby, any thoughts?
One thing you can do is exclude our runner folder. So C Windows Admin Arsenal, and then Windows Defender should leave it alone.
Let me show you guys an easy way to find that. If you go to Tools, right, and you're going to run a remote command here, all you got to do is run a dir on a machine, okay? And that's going to run in our Windows runner directory here. And then it's an easy way to find where you need to whitelist, I guess, or exclude in, see right there, C Windows Admin Arsenal. Do that in all the subdirectories from there. And what Colby said should take care of it.
Dear Lex and Colby, do you have a reliable way to force upgrade Windows 10 to 1909 from earlier Windows 10 releases? Thanks, Daryl.
Do we have a reliable way? Well, first of all, feature upgrades. We don't support them because we can't control them. There's going to be a reboot in the middle, and faster machines may get done in time to finish on time and get you the right succeeded, and slower machines may not. So that behind us, that being the case, it has been done. Many people do it. We've got a lot of good examples in our community, our forum, and personally, I think I would do it with the caveat I do it in small sections because, again, you can automate a lot of bad really fast. You can automate a lot of good really fast. So do it in chunks so that you only have a partially bad day if things go bad as opposed to a really bad day. Colby?
Yeah, I've seen mixed results. Like you said, some people have had a lot of success with it. Other people have run into issues. You have to make sure you have the right combination of switches. So you have to find the right forum post. I would have to dig it up right now. One of the issues that I think I've seen before is drivers. If it runs into a driver issue, it may fail. It may go into like a reboot loop, stuff like that. So there's some potential pitfalls to watch out for.
Once again, do small sections and test.
And our final question of the day, dear Lex and Colby, when scanning remote computers that are on VPN, some of them seem to stall on returning data, and after a period of time switch to aborting. These same computers will receive deployment packages fine. How can I investigate this further? Thanks, Chad B.
Colby, any thoughts on that? Well, I'm looking for possibilities here.
Nothing immediately comes to mind as far as like differences between what Deploy is doing and what Inventory is doing.
I'm looking. I know there's a timeout in Deploy. Is there a timeout in Inventory? I know there's a WMI scanner timeout, right?
I think it's on scanning.
Scanning. Scan local system, ping, wake
Maybe
online. Performance. Here we go. Timeout. Computer scan timeout. There you go. This is what I'm thinking right here. You may want to adjust that right there. Give that a little more time for your VPN clients just because sometimes, some of those internet connections are not the speediest. So,
and as far as troubleshooting, there are some logs that you can look at on the targets in that C Windows Admin Arsenal folder that I mentioned previously. If you dig around in there, the one, I don't remember the exact name, but it's inventory something. There should be some logs in there that may have something useful. And like I've mentioned before, this is something that support may be able to help you with.
Absolutely.
Hang on. We need to...
we need to tally this one?
We need to give the results, for one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game.
Oh, that's a win for me, guys.
Lex 15, Colby 15, JJ 1.
All right.
I'm about to get on the board, though. We do need to make one clarification. There were a couple of questions talking about or asking about a solution for remote machines. We are working on a solution. It should be ready for some testing here in the very near future, but I would not call it an agent. Okay, I just want to be clear on that. It's not an agent that we're rolling out at this time, but we are working on a solution. So now I'm on the board. JJ and I are tied too. How about that?
Sweet.
Good for us.
See, I told you, it's just you and me, and Jordan's not stealing my points. I still usually lose, but anyway, hey, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we appreciate the questions. It's been great. Yes, stay safe and keep deploying and making sure everybody's up to date. Catch y'all later. I'm Lex from PDQ.com.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Danny G and Sneaky M, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us. Stay safe, have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week.